How are you doing? I'm Dave. I help business leaders to use technology more effectively. And today we're talking about technophobia. I've talked about this before, but a couple of conversations together, I thought it was worth looking at again. So if you're intimidated or maybe kind of just hate technology change, this video is really for you. What I want to talk about really, and I've made some notes, so I've been looking at them a bit, is try to have that mindset shift. Now, our emotions are there to protect us, to keep us safe. Yeah. But we know that when it comes to change, it feels uncomfortable. It doesn't feel very safe. When the lockdown started and everyone started using Zoom, they had to use it because they wanted to like talk to their grandchildren or whatever. So there is nobody that can say, "I'm really sorry, I don't know how Zoom works. We'll have to do meeting in person." It's because people were forced against their better will, better judgment to use this technology. And obviously, there's always that image of that lawyer that turned into a cat. But that's like everyone's got used to it. Everyone's kind of got used to the process, and it feels quite a safe thing. People just jump on Zoom, it's easy. Okay, it doesn't always work, the camera, microphone, but generally, like whatever, we put up with it. And it's transformed how people work. Because generally, I do most of my work remotely, I do very little on site. So, what the purpose of this thought process here is that you're going to have to put in energy to get the best out of a change. And I think a lot of times people think, and the reason they are technophobic is because they can't get it to work instantly, so they just give up. But so think back to that time when you wanted to talk to somebody on Zoom and you were struggling and you're on your own because of lockdown and you figured it out. So you have the capabilities, the skill to do this with a bit of assistance, maybe. And like my kind of dream really is that you can use my knowledge, skills, and expertise to get that dream outcome through technology because I'll support you through the process. And the other thing, well, apart from the shiny thing, which we're not going to talk about today, this idea of just buying the latest thing, often people misuse tools. So the great example of this is a chainsaw makes a terrible axe. Uh, it's very good for cutting down trees, but only if you know how to use it. And a lot of the time, people are using tools the wrong way because that's how they've always done it. So if you whack that hell out of a tree with a chainsaw, you're just going to break the chainsaw. It's not going to cut the tree down. So another example is this inbox zero idea, which I think is ridiculous. And I see quite high up executives spend hours and hours dragging emails into folders. Why are you doing this? What purpose does it serve? It doesn't matter how many emails you have. All that matters is you can find the ones that you need to action. Simple process, flag the ones you want to action. You can put them into an action label if you want. And then use the tools, use the filtering tools, use something like SaneBox to move all the clutter out of your inbox, reduce the cognitive load. It doesn't matter if there's 50,000 emails in your inbox. What matters is if you can find the ones you want. Stop deleting them, stop filing them, use the tools to do that. If you're using 365, you've got the online archive and you can set retention policies. So you can say, right, the newsletters I only want to keep for 6 months. Anything that's newsletter, stick in that folder. You don't have to drag them in manually anymore. It's ridiculous because that's the way you've always done it. Because when you started work with emails, that's what you were doing. It doesn't make any sense. Stop doing that. Spend time working on things that make your work more efficient. So if you can find tools that mean that you don't have everything in emails, that's really good because emails are not a to-do list. They're not a very good way of managing stuff. They're just a memo system. The same as people attaching documents in SharePoint and OneDrive. So I got a bit technical now. Rather than sending people a link to the SharePoint or OneDrive document, they attach it and they create multiple versions. Stop doing that. We want one version of the file that everyone can access and edit as much as possible. When it comes to technology, a lot of people aren't prepared to put the time in because they don't see the benefits. So part of my role is to help you to put the right amount of time so you get what you want out of technology. I always think one of my customers, he showed me the first iPhone. He's not a very technical person, hates technology, but he had to show me how to use it. So just because you're not incredibly technical doesn't mean that and I am, doesn't mean I know everything. So it's just how much time you spent with the tool. Put the time in and you'll get the benefits. And generally, technology is 10 times cheaper than people. Technology that has a life cycle. So fax machines, let's good to pick that as an example. So once we didn't have fax machines, and then we did, and then people would fax things. It was brilliant. It was much cheaper than posting letters out to people, and then they became obsolete. But then people still use them. The NHS had to say no more fax machines. You want a fax machine, you buy it yourself. And this is the problem: is that what happens is we get stuck with the technology because we know how it works and we trust it and we rely on it. When you've got new technology is always more unreliable. And then we've got technology for technology's sake. I was in an Uber recently and the driver wanted to turn on the demisters because the window was misting up. And he was trying to drive and trying to stab at this stupid touch screen because the people that designed the car thought it'd be great to have a touch screen rather than buttons. Technology for technology's sake. The buttons were better, they were easier to use, they were more reliable. Having a touch screen does not make it better. It's another good example is I found this internet kettle. So you can boil your kettle from anywhere in the world. Make a lovely cup of tea. You just got to go to the kettle to make it. What's brilliant about it is when you pick the kettle up, it beeps. When you put it down on the stand, it beeps. When you boil the water, it beeps. Why? What purpose does it serve? So make sure that you're not doing technology for technology's sake. New technology is unreliable and old technology is reliable, but it means you're leaving money on the table. So finally, I just want to talk about quickly about budget. So if you want to make IT a powerhouse in your business, what you need to do is budget effectively, because if IT is cheaper than people and you can find the right things to do that will make the most value, it makes sense to do that. So don't run 8-year-old computers because it's cheaper to replace them than pay somebody to sit there waiting for that little blue circle. If there's a tool that you use in your business, you should buy it because it's cheaper to buy it than not to have it and pay for people's time. And often the problem is you don't know what you don't know. So because I've got lots of knowledge from working for lots of different businesses and loads of different technology, I can pick up the 1,000 things you could do right now, one that have the biggest impact. That's all for today. We didn't even mention cybersecurity or AI. How good is that? Lovely to speak to you. Thanks very much, and love to jump on a call if you'd like to have a chat about how I can help you get over your technophobia and make technology a powerhouse in your business. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and a good weekend.